Peace and blessings. I am Regina. Welcome to my happy place, Diva G's Reborns. We are here in our baby Maggie's series. I think I have finished painting her with the exception of her torso, some of the details. So I'm pleased with, her features, her face. So since I have completed what I feel is painting her, I will be sealing her and texturizing her really soon. I just need to complete the detail work on her torso. And after she's texturized and I've been able to varnish her, I will then be able to root her. So some of that I will be doing where you would be able to see. Um, I will be using a heat lamp. However, I will be utilizing the tip from Adawan's Art Dolls, my dolly sister Aleen, to put the lamp inside the doll's head upright. Okay. And once the head gets warm, turn it off or take it out and then root. Don't leave it on at all because it could, in fact, of course, shift and that bulb can cause the damage that I've already discussed and gone over. I'm trying to get our baby Maggie. Okay, if she stays like that, that'd be nice so you can continue to see her beautiful little face. She's just so adorable. You know, these kits, these sculpts are just so, adorable for so many reasons. And I get a kick out of um reborning them, so we will be we have our Maggie torso on my towel rack. I like to use the towel rack for heads as well as um the torso. So again, there's some detail work that I'd like to do on her torso, some of which I will do on camera. Um, so I hope you have been enjoying her series and the mini series that are, or the mini playlists that we have on the channel, that you've had the opportunity to take a look at the shorts as well as the community post, and that you like, comment, and subscribe and share our content. So let us get our paints all set up. And we are back. Okay, we are back um, with our paints and our paintbrush. I think that primarily we will be adding certain highlights, or I should say lowlights, deepening color areas using our burnt umber, which is what I call my number two. So we will just go strategic places on the kit, such as the belly button, under under here to kind of get some depth of color and some additional definition to the ribs. I mean, we did do some underpainting, which is one of the reasons that we do have a certain amount of definition with the coloring of the ribs, the rib cage. Okay. But I definitely want to go over the belly button area as well as under here and in here, this area here. Okay. So let's stir up our paint and so tell me, how is the weather where you are? We are still dealing with the snow, although it has not, it's not snowing now, but the weather is cold, um, and we do still have snow, of course, piled up. Um, but the streets are clean. The streets are clean. In New York, we're accustomed to snow. So usually the sanitation department gets everything really done very quickly. So the streets usually are clean, especially the main highways, the main streets, the secondary. Now, the tertiary streets, I don't know, maybe they may not be clean, but everywhere else is clean. We've had many, many, alerts that, they're working on the electricity in the area. Maybe some have lost electricity. They may have some type of power outage, so they have been working on those things. So, but I am grateful that I've not experienced, any issues. I'm really, really, truly grateful, for that. So, yeah, let's get this together. So, what I want to do is to deepen up the coloring around in the navel area to give some what I think would be dimension into the area. Now, I did go over the area with some underpainting of my favorite eyelid purple. um, I believe I did. And because I am seeing some, color. So I believe, some impression of some added depth color. So, yeah. So I'm just kind of going around certain areas to see if we can get a little more depth and color. I know I did Baby Cannon. I did a um, belly plate with him and was able to create realistic shadows and depth on him. So we want to see about doing the same thing on our baby Maggie. And yeah, so of course this is an art doll. This is a painting series. So yeah. So we are just going around just to create definition to the area and some bit of shadow, because the shadows, that's what it does, is it helps to create definition. And I'm using my detail brush um, to try to get thin lines, kind of like thin lines. Um, and then I'm pouncing them out. And I'm going to go in some of the creases here. I did, you know, do the creases initially, but you know, sometimes you do have to go back over them, especially if there are creases that you want them to be present. Sometimes they will lighten, and you don't always know which ones are going to lighten or not until, you know, you're continuing with the painting. And then you see what you have and what you may want to add. Now, what I will do is work primarily on the front. And then once the front is, you know, dry, then I can turn it over and then work on the back. Now, if I were to just leave her on the towel rack, I could do her in, you know, I could just leave her on the rack and do front and back. But because I would like you to be able to see certain things, I have her on the table in this way. And what I'm doing is I'm just trying to play with light and shadow, striving to create the appearance of depth, fullness. So that's what I'm, you know, kind of trying to. And trying to be certain to blend things well to avoid any harsh lines, because that does not look good. That would not look good. Now, what I will do is I'm going to dry and come back. Okay. And we're going to go ahead with continuing to add color. Adding some definition. Now I would like to try to get a certain amount of symmetry. Yes, Muffin. Hey, baby. I gave you a treat. You had a treat, right? What you want now? I played with you too. Yeah. What you want now? Hmm? What would you like now? Hmm? This is where having a heat gun really does come in handy because it affords you to be able to do multiple steps and to be able to just take a short amount of time to dry it and then go on to the next step. And the detail work I think is important. I think it kind of brings, takes it to a different level. I'm using my detail brush from Ultimate Fusion. It's a very good brush. I got this along with my paints, my Ultimate Fusion air dry paints. And it's a good brush. It came with a few brushes. It even came with the kabuki. I don't really use the kabuki. I used it the first two dolls that I did with the paint. I even bought additional kabuki brushes. Not from Ultimate Fusion because their brushes, um, are quite expensive. And these brushes are actually um, paint brushes, and the kabuki is a makeup brush. And many of the brushes that we use for painting are used for nail art. And as you know, I do create um, press on nails. So I use brushes like these for creating art and, doing some detail work. And also, so we use those brushes, makeup brushes, nail brushes, nail art brushes. So, yeah. So there are a lot of different types of brushes that you can use. So you don't necessarily have to. Mm, it just depends on what you want. Like, I'm using this detail brush, and it's a very good brush. But I'm going to continue doing some of the detail work with the Christina Wooley's um, hair painting brush because that works really well for details because the bristles stay together and you can really make a nice fine line. I like using it when I'm doing creating the nails on the dolls. I find that it works out, really, really well. I have a lot of control that way. And that's something that is needed. Being able to create fine lines to make those details that are needed. It's important. Yeah, so I'm just kind of going around different areas that I feel would benefit from having some accent placed on them. Yeah, so I'm gonna dry and come back. Okay, I'm gonna take some of this red mixture that I used on, the lips, and I'm just gonna place it strategically in the navel area to give the appearance of blood flow, not bleeding or anything like that, but just a little bit of color here. I think it would be nice. Just a little bit of color. Just a little bit. I like that. I like that. And there's some area around here that I want to put a little bit of the redness. I really, really like this brush. And it's so simple to dip it in like the distilled water, and you can, change to a different color, really, really easily. So I like that about it as well. So funny, the actual asymmetry of how they sculpted this kit. There are areas that actually have certain definition and impressions, and then like on this side it does, but on this side there's that detail is missing. So I guess I'm gonna have to try to figure out creating it. Okay, so that's where my dotting tool comes in. And, asymmetry, as I, say, is something that's normal. It is normal. However, there are some things that I would think would be symmetrical. Um, certain things. But I guess that's just me thinking it, you know. So I'm just going just a little bit places where I think might look kind of nice to have a little bit of this color. Everything, like I always say, subtle. The subtle additions make a lot of impact. So I'm going to dry and come back. Okay. I think one of the advantages to having Patreon is you can upload content that possibly normally would be flagged, but it can be visualized, you know, on Patreon or on I don't know if like if you have like a members channel or something like that. I don't know. I'm just only, you know, making mention of that. Because I know I look at some different kind of true crime things, and I've heard them say, "Oh, if you really want to see this, that, and the other, subscribe to the Patreon, and you can see it uncut or what have you, like that." Because the thing is with YouTube, sometimes they flag things that um I don't even know if they need to be flagged. But I guess, you got all kind of people in the world. So, yeah, so sometimes things, they do that. Because there are people who are not well and, you know, trying to get into an angle where I can see what I'm doing without the light blocking, like it feels like sunlight in my eyes, the light that I have on overhead. So trying to go around in a certain way. So that's the thing, you know. I mean, because, you know, when you're doing art, you would think that um, it would be okay, but, you know, sometimes there are different things that are flagged, and I get it. You know, I get it. Okay, now let's see. Clean this off. And gonna cover it up. And then I'm going to stir the burnt umber. And see what's going to put some, deepen up some of the color elsewhere again. Cool thing about this Christina Woolly brush again is you can strategically apply very little to the bristles and have a great amount of control over what you're doing, which is like really cool, like really. I think I want to get another one of her brushes just because. Just because they are so good. I think it was something like, I don't know, it might have been something like $15 or something. But if you get it, I think you would probably really see benefit in it, because you can really make fine lines and have a bit better control over where the paint actually goes because of the immense control that you have. So I've been trying to think of what type of contest I would like to have on my channel. When I hit 300, I would like to do a contest. I'm nearly at that amount now. Thank you very much. I'm so grateful. So very grateful. I think I probably would run the contest after March, because Karen of Making Reborn Dolls with Karen is running a contest that will begin February the 1st, 2026. And it is a very involved contest. And she will be choosing the winner on March 1st, 2026. So I don't want to have any conflict, with, any conflict with the two contests. So I'm trying to think of what I want to do on my channel for a contest. And yeah, like I said, I probably would begin it sometime in March. I was saying that I would like to do it at 300, but I don't know which will come first. So I would encourage you to, if you have not already, subscribe and do share the channel and encourage others to subscribe, because I do want to have a nice contest, nice giveaway. And yeah. I love details. They really take things to the next level, in my opinion. They do. They take things, because I can see more definition just with the few little steps that we've done. I'm gonna dry and come back. So I am back, going over doing some more of the detail work. Some of it I have to angle her a certain way. I really do like creating, what appears to be depth by playing with shadows. I really enjoy that. Because you can give that look. You can create that illusion. My brother Jay, that was his nickname. I showed you a picture of him, and I said that he and ASAP Rocky looked alike. And my brother Jay was an artist, quite talented, quite talented. And my sons, they're both um, talented as artists as well. One son, that's what his degrees are in. And, you know, so he's very artistic. They both are, but one son focuses more on it. And his twin brother is a published poet, which is rather nice. Of course, proud of both of them. Proud of both of them. So one son's degrees are in more of the artistic domain, graphic design, art, painting, and the other son, his degrees are in business. Let's see, how does that belly button look to you? You see added depth and dimension there? I do. I do. Let's see. And we're gonna go around here a little bit. Then we'll dry again. Yeah, I like the way it's coming out. Dry and pause, or pause and dry. Yeah, so we're back. I was thinking when it first began snowing, it took me back to my childhood. My dad, in so many ways, was a big kid. He made being a child fun. And he would go out into the yard, into our backyard. And when the snow was freshly, had come down, he would go with a huge, like a covered kind of pot type of thing. And he would get all of this snow and we would help, and then my mom would make snow ice cream. And I don't really remember how to make it. I think you use condensed milk and sugar, and you know, you can eat it. You mix it up, and then becomes snow ice cream. The interesting thing though is if you put it in the freezer, it it will turn to ice. It won't, it won't be like ice, like, regular ice cream. It won't be like that. It'll turn to ice the same way, you think about snow on the outside when it gets cold, it turns to ice. So it's the same principle. Then later, my dad got an ice cream machine and he would make ice cream. My dad he loved candy, he loved chocolate. Really, he loved chocolate and like um ice cream and cake and stuff like that. And my dad was small. He wasn't like a big man. So, he was an average size, average height. What was he like? Maybe 5'11" or something. And he wasn't heavy. So you would think with all that he liked to eat like that, but he wasn't heavy. And my mom, she wasn't a person that really liked sweets. She she didn't like sweets too much. My mom, she was a small person too. She always stayed pretty much the same size. And yeah. So my father, he was so funny. He would make the ice cream. He was funny. He was. He was so funny. You could tell I'm a daddy's girl. Oh, but I love my mother dearly as well. I miss them both so much. So much. So much. They passed 3.5 months apart. Was taking care of them. And I remember when my mom passed, it was a different type of pain. I mean, it both hurt, but my mom, when she passed, I felt like I was an orphan. I'm a grown woman, and I was saying I felt like I was an orphan. Wow. Yeah. She was my best friend. Best friend. Call any time of the day or the night. With anything. She always had a word of encouragement, a word of prayer, or something that would just sustain you, just be so helpful. So, Maggie is coming along pretty nicely, isn't she? I think she is. We're going to dry her and come back. I'm going to use a little bit of red wash. I need to mix up some more, but I think I have enough to do what it is that I would like to do. So, maybe so. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. A little bit more water. And I didn't realize the video was going to be this amount of time that it is. But I do hope that you are enjoying what we are doing as we are striving to create depth, shadows with our lovely baby Maggie. It's so funny that uh, you won't really be able to see really how the torso is coming together, you know. But that's okay. It's okay. I'm just gonna go around a little bit of the area where we did the red and just go with the wash. One of the things that is so I find enjoyable about painting is the creative process. You know, I really enjoy that, the creative process. It's so enjoyable being able to do certain things. It really is. So I'm gonna dry and come back. Okay, can't really show you too much, but I did want to show you what the navel area is looking like. You see some depth to it and the coloring. And you can see some of the, of the colors in the on the torso of itself. Um, what I will do is I'm going to turn her over and then do some painting over here. Um, and I want to create some. I'm going around under what would be the shoulder blades because I did go over that area with eyelet purple in the beginning so that it would give that bit of easier to be able to add the depth of color, give that illusion. And yeah, some areas here. I want to create that shadow in here. It does, but the baby will be very all put together, she will be firm. She'll be, not have that cuddly reborn feeling. But I did want to um, challenge myself in being able to create, you know, this type of reborn. I have another kit with a anatomically correct torso. And since you cannot really show certain things, I may not do that one on camera. I have to think that through. And just to see. And I keep checking my text messages and emails because, I am expecting some deliveries. And I'm not hearing anything. What I was supposed to get yesterday didn't come, of course, and then they sent the update this morning, but they didn't give a date for delivery. Go figure. Yeah, so I thought I was recording, but I think I wasn't. So not sure where I left off, but I was saying that the items that I thought were going to be delivered on yesterday, they didn't come. So, I thought they might come today, but didn't have a delivery date for today. Although the roads are clear here, and I'm near major airports, so the surrounding area also is clear. That doesn't mean that where the items were coming from, that it was clear there. So that would stand to reason for the delay. So I keep checking, my phone and texts and emails to see if if there's any update for delivery, because although it's 7:20 p.m. here now, sometimes if they say, oh, it will be delivered by 9 p.m., it could still come. But I don't think it's going to come today because, let's see. Yeah, I don't have any additional update. No. Well, long as it arrives safe, intact, I would imagine Today is Tuesday. So I would imagine that the latest Friday, um, I would receive the packages that I'm anticipating. So, and one of the packages that I'm anticipating is my replacement baby Onyx, and the other is the reborn that I'm to reborn for Karen, of making reborn dolls with Karen. So I am like so eager to, so I'm like, but this is what happens, right? So what can I say? Well, now this is the back. You can see some definition, the spine, and trying to define the spine and the plumber area here. Yeah, so, and we can see again the belly button. Nice. Um, so yeah, so I'm liking the way she's coming along. I think I will maybe do a little bit more of the same, um, maybe with her. And I would like to say, please do stay safe in this weather. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Come back again real soon to see what it is that we're doing here at Diva G's Reborns. Let me just give you a peek at our baby's limbs, our baby Maggie, her limbs, what they're looking like with the nice shadowing, the fingers, the tipping of the fingernails, and what I will be doing, I think I'm going to go ahead and texturize and seal her. And yeah, so that I can go ahead and get to being able to root her hair. I think that she's looking very nice. I want to see her done myself. I do. I want to see her done myself. So this is the adorable Maggie. She's looking so cute. She's looking really cute. She's looking cute. Look at her. She looks cute. Oh my goodness. Peace and blessings.